God wants you to give away your holiday. That probably makes you feel uncomfortable. Well, good, because here's the truth. God's not after your money. He's after your heart. Most people think Christianity is about adding Jesus to an otherwise normal life. A bit of prayer here, some church attendance there, and everything else stays the same. But the Bible reveals something far more radical. Following Jesus means everything changes, including what you do with what you have. Here's the most dangerous prayer you can ever pray. God, make me generous. In 2 Corinthians chapter 9, Paul writes something that should revolutionize how we think about money. He says, God will give you everything you need and more, so that there will not only be enough for your own needs, but plenty left over to share with others. And then in verse 11 he says, yes, you will be enriched in every way, so that you can always be generous. Did you catch that? God provides abundantly, not for hoarding, but for generosity. Every blessing is meant to flow through you, not stop at you. Your pay rise, your spare time, your comfortable home, even your holidays, these aren't rewards to enjoy in isolation. They're resources to steward for others. So when you get a bonus at work, God's question isn't, what will you buy? It's, who will you bless? When you have margin in your budget at home, he asks, where can this make a difference? When you have free time in your week, he wonders, who needs you? But let's be honest for a moment. This feels threatening, doesn't it? In Luke chapter 9, Jesus says, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must give up your own way, take up your cross daily, and follow me. Now, there's another verse I love. King David says, I will not present burnt offerings to the Lord my God that have cost me nothing. Here's what that means for us. If your giving never affects your lifestyle, your plans, or your comfort, you might not be giving at all. You might just be tipping. Maybe it's giving up that holiday you'd planned and giving the money to mission instead. Maybe it's sacrificing your Saturday morning lie-in to serve in your community. Maybe it's choosing a smaller house so you can be more generous with what you have. Real giving hurts a little, and that's the point. Paul also writes in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, remember this, a farmer who plants only a few seeds will get a small crop, but the one who plants generously will get a generous crop. Now, this isn't the prosperity gospel. I'm not saying give to get rich, but it is a promise. When you trust God with your resources, he takes care of you. In your workplace, be the person known for generosity. Buy coffee, share credit, serve others. At home, model sacrificial giving to your children. In your neighbourhood, be generous with your time and your home. You won't go bankrupt. You'll discover God's faithfulness in new ways. Jesus told a story in Luke chapter 12 about a rich man who built bigger barns to store his wealth. God called him a fool. Why? Because he stored up earthly wealth, but wasn't rich towards God. Here's the truth. That holiday will be a memory in a year. That purchase will bore you in a month. But the person who meets Jesus because of your sacrifice, that's eternal. Before any major purchase, ask yourself this. Will this bring me closer to Jesus? Will this help someone else meet him? Or am I just feeding a temporary desire? God wants you generous, not guilty. He wants you joyful, not resentful. So before you give away your holiday, pray. Ask God what he's actually calling you to sacrifice. Maybe it is that holiday, but maybe it's something else. But whatever it is, let it cost you. Let it reshape your plans. Let it prove that Jesus is worth more than your comfort. This week, identify one thing you are planning to do for yourself and prayerfully consider whether God's calling you to redirect it for His kingdom.